Hey everyone. Last week I spent a few days at MIT joining a roundtable on agentic AI in supply chain. I have to say it was fascinating. Real system discussions that are already operating in production. And the biggest takeaway surprise for me, agentic AI isn't future concept. Parts of it are already running today. But we're still far from end-to-end agentic supply chain, something that I believe the gap is, well, there are a lot of opportunities, but we're still very far from a true end-to-end agentic supply chain, and that gap is where a lot of opportunity and risk sits. Before going further, let's be precise about the term. Agentic AI is not a smart chatbot. It's not just analytic with conversational interface. What we discussed about is a system that can reason, decide, act, and learn from the outcomes. One framework that came up repeatedly was simple but important. For an AI system to be agentic, it needs real reasoning ability, the ability to take action, and some degree of autonomy. But without all three, you are still in assisted decision making, not an agent. So what's already running today? What impressed me the most is how far some organizations already are. In one example, an enterprise described running its own internal private AI environment for security and governance reasons. Agentic AI is used to troubleshoot scheduling issues and broader supply chain disruptions. The system doesn't just flag a problem, it can intervene directly in the flow, request pickup time changes, and execute actions end-to-end without the human in the loop. That's an impressive operation. After roughly 2 years, close to half of the relevant workflows are already automated. What's important here is not the automation percentage. It's the lesson they shared. Once you give AI the ability to act, it's very quickly exposed security gaps and process weaknesses that were previously hidden. In another case focused on sourcing and procurement, agentic AI was applied to spend management and decision support. The key blocker was not the model, it was the data fragmentation. When the same item exists under multiple names across teams and systems, no agent can reason correctly. Data harmonization wasn't optional, it was a foundation. Only after that did agentic AI started delivering a real value. In cold chain operator, the approach was more conservative, and deliberately so. Multiple data sources were unified into a single map-based view. AI monitors shipments, flags issues, score lanes, and identified external risk outside the team's control. In later phases, agentic AI will coordinate responses across service providers, but physical movement is still not fully automated by design. This is a reminder that autonomy does not have to be all or nothing. In transportation and logistics operation, agentic systems are already handling a majority of inbound communication autonomously, including exceptions handling and free-related workflow. In parallel, contextual AI systems are coordinating decisions across planning, warehouses, and transportation platform to reduce an unnecessary move. These aren't headline-grabbing use cases. They are quietly removing friction that humans should never have been managing manually. Despite these examples, most supply chains are still far from agentic. One framework that resonates strongly highlighted 3 reasons: legacy system lock-in, lack of trust in black box system, and a growing disconnect between data and skills. I would add a 4th from my own experience. The hardest problem is not technical. It is decision when software is allowed to act. AI forces organizations to confront decision rights and governance. That's where progress slows down. Even with all this progress, we are still missing something fundamental. We do not yet have a true end-to-end agentic supply chain. I think we're still far from there. But let me kind of talk a little bit more about this. Today, agents operate in narrow domains. Each of the companies working in their own narrow world. Planning in one place, execution in another, automation somewhere else. What we're missing is coordinating decision loop that can detect a problem, choose a response, reroute cargo through a less congested path, adjust warehouse priority, and instruct automation and robotic systems how to behave, all as part of one flow. We are also missing trusted control layers into physical systems. It's easy to generate recommendation. It's much harder to safely connect agent to yards, warehouses, and robots. And finally, we are missing enterprise-grade trust. Agents need to explain why they acted, what data they used, how they can be overridden, and how learning happens over time. Without that, autonomy will remain limited. Even if someone built the perfect end-to-end agentic system tomorrow, most organizations couldn't deploy it alone. Supply chain are networks. They're not silos. Multiple vendors, customers, and final user. The future here won't be one company buying a magic platform. It will be multiple companies aligning around shared agentic capability, collaborating. That doesn't mean shared system. It means shared decision interfaces. Different systems, different owner, but common ways for agent to reason, act, and coordinate. Alignment will happen where the pain is shared. Congestion, demurrage, cold chain failures, customs delays, when everyone loses money from the same friction. I just want to share a short message for founders, people that build solutions. If you are building agentic AI for supply chain, don't just ask what your agent can predict. Ask where it can act, how it can earn trust, and how it fits into a real fragmented environment, much bigger than yourself. In many cases, your buyer won't be a single company. It will be a network that needs to move together. Agentic AI is not coming, it's already here. The real question is whether organizations and networks are ready to let software coordinate decisions they already struggle to align on as human. Next week, I'll break down what it actually takes to move from pilots to production without breaking trust, security, or operation. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining this week. Looking forward to your questions and remarks, and talk again.